Welcome, future doctors, to another episode of the Future Minority Doctor Podcast with Dr. Sulma
and Marina, where we bring you conversations to empower and inspire you to contribute to your community and the world by becoming a doctor. Welcome back, future doctors. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So we're going to cover a few things in this episode. We'll talk about the importance of something called retrieval or recall practice. Okay, so let's focus on this very important concept of retrieval practice or recall practice, which is an excellent form of active learning. If you remember on our episode on study habits, we talked about the importance of active learning, right? Like, how do you not just learn something for the first time when you read it, but then it's gone like a week later? How do you actually remember it and force your brain to memorize it for the long term? So the first idea is that we have to practice retrieving or recalling learning from memory. In other words, they call it self-quizzing. There are other methods. So one method is when you're reading something, pause to ask yourself without looking back at the text, what are the key ideas that I just read? What words or terms are new to me? What do they mean? Can I define them to myself or to someone else? How do these concepts I'm learning relate to what I already know? And how would I explain this to someone else if I had to? So this whole concept of explaining this to someone else, it's great because it's another method of quizzing yourself. So if you ever have studied in a group or studied with a partner, this is a great way of quizzing yourself. Another technique you can use is called concept mapping, or some people call it mind mapping. So then another thing, like I mentioned in anatomy, I would just draw out the heart. I did this with a lot of other things, like in biochemistry, you have to learn a lot of pathways, like the glycolysis pathway, which converts glucose into energy. So the way I memorized that was just by writing it out over and over again. So another concept is about spacing out your self-quizzing. So basically, after you study something or learn something for the first time, it's normal to forget some of it after a while. And if you quiz yourself on it again the next day, you're actually going to probably remember most of it or a good amount of it. But if you wait a week or a few weeks, you'll probably forget most of it by that time.
I wanted to remind everyone, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. You can go to www.futureminoritydoctor.com. Peace and love, y'all.
Bye.